Hello, and welcome to Marriage Minutes. Today, we are going to be discussing Bulletproof. But first and foremost, we're going to give a shout out to, what's the ministry? Heartlife Ministry. We are going to their retreat coming up in October, and we are super excited. And so we can't wait. We have to continue to feed ourselves to get better, to be better. We're 23 in, but we still gotta feed ourselves, and so we are excited. But our topic today is bulletproof, and what we're going to be talking about is how do you withstand the fiery darts that the enemy throws at you personally and throws at your marriage.
All right, so bulletproof implies that nothing is able to penetrate something that's behind it. Bulletproof implies that there's a shield between you and the attacks that are coming. So first of all, it's important to know if you are married any length of time, attacks are coming. Whether it is a financial attack on your health, attack on your relationship, attack on your fidelity, attack from your interaction with your children, your in-laws,
your mental.
It's coming. It's coming. So know that the enemy of your soul hates relationships, hates marriage, hates to see marriage prosper. And so that alone tells you that you are going to be attacked and that you need to develop some type of force field that encircles or encamps the both of you so that you are able to withstand when they come. So first thing I want to say is know that attacks are coming.
It's like that thermocell thing we bought.
I don't know what that is.
That barrier thing. They're supposed to put a barrier around your circumference.
Did it work?
Yeah, it worked.
You talking about what the mosquito things? Oh, I didn't know how it worked. Okay, so we need that.
Yeah.
All right, and what is that built out of?
It has a source, a power source. And so you have to make sure that your power source is fully charged. And so you got to stay connected. You got to stay grounded in who you are and what your goal is as a family. And you can't get distracted because the enemy is about distracting. If I can distract you, then I can sneak in. So you can't be distracted. So your power source is important because if the power fails, then you are susceptible to being attacked.
And our power source is prayer. And I'm going to be quite honest with you that our relationship, or at least my prayer life, has struggled during this whole kind of COVID situation and being home and all the stuff that's going on in the world. I think that I have allowed that source to lose its charge. You know how when your battery in your phone gets old and you have to keep recharging, well, I need to keep recharging it. It's not that my battery doesn't work. It just needs a more frequent charge. And so I need to change my attitude in terms of my prayer source and get back on my knees. I know that I don't pray as consistently as I should, and I know that that is why I feel like I feel in terms of our relationship, and I know that I'm setting myself up, unfortunately, for an attack that I may not be as strong to withstand because I'm not praying. So for me, I know that my source is prayer. And I got work to do in that area.
And it's hard because I think what we were able to do for so long is go to church, get recharged, get a word, fill yourself back up, and then go back out into the world. But when that all changed somewhat and we became dependent upon online church services and things of that nature, I hate to say it, but the bones get kind of dry, and so it's a struggle sometimes. But I think when you recognize that, you have to just go back to the basics, and you have to start doing what you know to do. And starting with prayer is the first step, and then once you recognize that, then you have to really take a inventory of yourself and maybe just evaluate your surroundings and where you maybe be weak at in terms of your defenses.
And I think also knowing your power source, but then also removing the clutter out of your lives. I think especially during this time when we were locked down and I was watching constantly watching the news and constantly watching social media because you wanted this connection with the outside world in some ways. But I really had to stop a lot of that because it wasn't productive to my soul. And I had to realize that that clutter that I was putting on, it's like, okay, so if my power source is the plug, right? And I needed to plug my phone in so it could get charged. But if I had all of this stuff that was in the way that I couldn't get to the power source, I couldn't get to the outlet, then it made no difference if the outlet was there or not because I didn't have enough clearance to get to it. So removing some of that stuff, that junk that was in the way in terms of the world and what was going on, I had to remove that from my life and fill it really with things that were uplifting to me. So reading material that was encouraging, listening to music that was putting me in the right frame of mind. All those basic things like Mark talked about were the things that I needed to get back to and need to get back to on a consistent and regular basis. And for me also, it's not just reading inspirational, it's reading the word and standing on the word for me. Those are my power sources. And so I can't expect my marriage to be any stronger than I am if I have not done what I need to do in terms of building up my power. I can't expect my child. I can't expect my husband, even though he's got his own stuff. I can't expect any of that because God is not obligated to bless us. He can, but he's not obligated to bless our works if we're not working.
Yeah. And honestly, if you're malnourished, you're not able to really fight against the enemy to do those things. And so after you get your power source and after you take an inventory, you just have to really assess where you are and be honest with yourself and be honest with your spouse. And where are we? What can we do better? And I think that's what the thing is so important about God is because he'll allow you to make that adjustment midstream. You know, just like football games. The first half, you could just be getting your head busted. You go in at halftime, really? You got to go there. You go in at halftime and you make those adjustments. And then when you come out for the third quarter and the fourth quarter, you've made adjustments now. And so what worked in the first half is not working in the second half. And now you're able to withstand the enemy, bounce them off, and then now you're able to go on the offensive and you're able to win. And so that's the game is you have to really take that inventory, assess where you are, and then just make the adjustment. And God is the kind of God, he's like, okay, let's do it. Let's roll.
Yeah, and the only other thing I'd say is that I think that this year and these years that we've been in the midst of this pandemic has really caused us to look at one another and pick out each other's flaws. And so while we're facing one another, we don't know what's going on behind us. We don't know if the enemy is attacking us. But if we can get into a position where we're back to back, go back to back.
Oh, yeah.
Then we can see what the enemy is doing on all sides, right? And we can shield ourselves from that because he's got my back and I've got his back. And so we're able to do something differently. But as long as we're looking at one another and focusing on one another's flaws, the enemy can come in and attack. So bulletproof your marriage. How about that?
Bulletproof your marriage. And I think one last thing is check on each other's mental. If there's nobody else I should not be more transparent with, it's your spouse. And so check my mental.
Are you okay? Are you okay that the Bears lost?
This is going to be on. Okay. Be well and be blessed. But hey, bulletproof. We be there. We coming.
Love you, Weisha and Ness.
Weisha.
Love you, Nisha and Wes. Bye-bye.
Heartlife Ministry for life.